Lucifer has been running for several years, but we fans can't seem to get enough. The show has seen a massive cast of characters over the years, but some of these characters are despised by viewers, and I'll explain why. However, on the flip side of this, there have also been several characters that fans have adored. So, stick around to see both sides of this same coin. Before we get started, be sure to hit that like button and ring the notification bell for more videos. Marcus Pierce, aka Kane. Marcus Pierce, better known as Kane from the infamous biblical story of Cain and Abel, is one of the most despised characters the show has ever seen. We all know that Kane was declared the world's first murderer after he took the life of his brother out of pure jealousy. He was cast out and shunned, and it doesn't seem like things have gotten much better for him over the years. Problem is, he is a world-renowned criminal who likes to pretend he's a good guy. For all the obvious reasons, most of us can probably agree that we hate this guy's guts and wouldn't be bothered if he disappeared from the show entirely. To top it off, he always seems to be getting in the way of Chloe and Lucifer's relationship. At this point, that's almost all I'm interested in. Considering Season 6 is the show's final season, these two need to get it on before it's too late. So back off, Kane.
I've been trying to kill myself since the Bronze Age. I've tried everything.
Lucifer. What is there not to love about Lucifer? No matter how you look at it, you have to admit that Tom Ellis' interpretation of Lucifer is quite captivating. I mean, who couldn't love a guy with a face like that? This man is full of charisma. After all, that's what makes him such a little devil. He can convince you to do just about anything. Even better is that he carries out all his daily devil business while wearing that adorable suit. Obviously, Lucifer can be a handful sometimes, but he does his best. Considering he's a fallen angel, it seems like he's walking a fine line between his natural, devilish persona and his former life as an angel of heaven. He always seems to be getting himself into some sort of trouble, but luckily, his soon-to-be lover is always ready to save the day. Chloe and Lucifer are so obviously meant to be together, and we couldn't be happier for them.
Eve, I'm sorry if you've come all this way for me.
Father Kinley. Father Kinley seems to have been making a lot of appearances lately, but we're honestly glad that his character has now been killed off of the show. Love him or hate him, you have to admit that Father Kinley is a pretty despicable man. He's always coercing Chloe into doing his bidding, even though she knows that all he wants is to carry out his own dark desires without Lucifer getting in the way. Luckily, Chloe has always been able to see through his lies, but that's never stopped him from doing his best to tear the two of them apart. For this guy to claim he's a man of God, he's got an awful lot of issues that he needs to sort through. At the end of the day, Father Kinley can easily be declared one of the most hated characters on Lucifer.
He sacrificed himself to force Lucifer to reveal his true form, to show the church, finally.
Chloe Decker. What's not to love about Chloe Decker? The detective has stunning looks, an awesome personality, and a yearning for justice that's unmatched. She'll often present herself as being a hardened detective that'll stop at nothing to uncover the truth. And that is mostly accurate. But she also has a soft side that we get to see every now and then, proving she truly cares about her job, her co-workers, and Lucifer. Considering she's a police officer, she has a lot of baggage to carry around and has likely seen her fair share of disturbing cases over the years. Nevertheless, she does her best to see everyone for who they are and doesn't let her own prejudice cloud her judgment. She's such an amazing detective and the perfect soul for Lucifer Morningstar.
Please don't go. I love you.
Goddess. Lucifer's mother is certainly one of the most controversial characters in the show, but it's safe to say that most fans, myself included, can't stand her. She always does her best to bring Lucifer, his friends, and his co-workers down. We know she's just trying to get her family back together, but she does a pretty bad job of that. Lucifer seems to be completely fed up with his mother and can't stand the antics she constantly puts him through. At the end of it all, I think we all wished she'd just get sucked into a black hole or banished to the underworld for all eternity. Still, Lucifer does his best to see his mother's side. I mean, after all, she is his mother.
What about you? Amenadiel, my children.
You know.
Amenadiel. Amenadiel has always been such an innocent soul. He always sees the best in people and has patience, unlike anything we've ever seen. He's willing to go to any lengths to keep his friends safe and happy, as well as his newfound lover. Even though he may have a strange way of going about things, he always has other people's best interests at heart. This man couldn't be any sweeter if he tried. It seems that the world doesn't really deserve a person with his passion, grace, and forgiveness. Maybe that's why he's always talking about returning home to heaven.
Anyone else?
You are the most beautiful person I've ever seen.
Thank you. The question...
Eve. Eve is another controversial one. Some people love her to death, but others can't stand the sight of her. I find myself a bit torn, but it seems like in general, most people hate her. Eve has been around since the beginning of humankind. She knows the ins and outs of what makes people tick, and she uses this knowledge against Lucifer and does her best to keep him away from Chloe. She is very deceptive and wants to keep Lucifer for herself, no matter what the cost may be. This is obviously wrong for so many reasons, and she goes to such an extent to change who she is as a person in order to please Lucifer. But in the end, it still doesn't work. Self-growth is an important part of life, but changing the core of who you are to make someone else happy is a bit too far if you ask me.
I know what rejection looks like, what it feels like.
Mazikeen. Mazikeen may have started off as a cold-hearted criminal, but now that she's been able to open herself up to Linda, we've seen a whole new side of her. Yes, she's still bloodthirsty and loves to torture people for fun, but that's just Maze being Maze. Can't fault her for that, can we? Well, okay, maybe, but I think we still all love this girl. She's always willing to state her mind and doesn't care who she may have offended while doing it. That's a lesson most of us can learn from.
But you told Amenadiel and your mom that you were going with them to heaven.
Dan Espinoza. Dan has been kind of a jerk since the first season of Lucifer. He's always hating on Lucifer and finding something to be negative about. He doesn't seem to have much going for him in life, so he sinks all of his time into his job. This makes him a very angry person, and he seems to take this out on everyone around him, mostly Lucifer. Considering he also blames Lucifer for the death of Charlotte, his anger towards Lucifer has grown sevenfold. We don't know what the future holds for these two, but Dan remains one of the most hated characters on the show. Just give Lucifer a break already, dude. Jeez.
Daniel.
Linda Martin. Finally, everyone's favorite sweetheart, Linda. Linda is an amazing counselor that's always willing to listen to Lucifer's cries for help and his deepest moments of distress. She also found her way into the heart of Maze, though this relationship went to a very weird place for a while. Linda is one of the most kind-hearted people in the show, so it makes sense why she and Amenadiel hit it off so well. If their child is anything like they are, he's going to be one of the greatest kids the world has ever seen.
Well, God's your father, Lucifer, and things are never simple with him. You don't know why for sure your wings have returned.
Thanks so much for watching. Be sure to hit that like button and ring the notification bell for more videos.